Hey, welcome to Smiley's Kitchen. So we're going to be making some bread in the bread maker today. And we're going to start out, we're going to make two different types of bread. The first video is going to be on making wheat bread. And the next video will be on just making regular basic white bread. Okay, we're not doing whole wheat bread in this video. We'll be doing just the wheat bread. Okay, so we've got our 2 cups of bread flour right here. And then we've got our 2 cups of wheat flour right here. Okay, now one day I was just kind of playing around in the kitchen and found out that tapioca flour is really amazing. So I wanted to just show that to you. I like using this brand. Maybe any brand will do, but I use the tapioca flour as a binder, and it also makes the bread really light and fluffy. So we're going to put a teaspoon of tapioca flour into the regular flour. Now I always like to put it in there first, just to kind of mix it up and make sure it gets in there, because sometimes it can be really pasty. So it's really important to mix that up really good. So we've mixed that up good, and we're gonna set that aside. Now when you're making bread in a bread maker, you want to start out with your liquids first. Okay, so I'm gonna start out. Here's my bread maker. Nice big mistake there. I spilled the water. Give me just one moment and I'll get some more. Okay. So we're gonna use 1 cup of water. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. 1 cup of water. All right. And then we're going to use about a half a cup of coconut milk. I love using the Silk brand coconut milk. Okay. Okay, we're going to add that in there. You probably might need to add a little bit more. I have a hard time because I do not like to measure. I like to eyeball everything. So it's really difficult for me to share recipes with other people. But we're going to try this today, see how it goes. This is 2 cups of wheat flour. We're adding that next. Okay. And now we are going to add, now typically the best way to do this is to mix your sugar and your salt all together. Okay. You're putting, if you didn't notice, you're putting your I've got, what I have here is 4 teaspoons of Smart Balance vegan margarine or butter, and then I've got a tablespoon of grapeseed oil and a tablespoon of coconut oil, and I like the flavor. I do it for flavor purposes. It just gives it a great flavor. Unrefined version coconut oil. I like the cold pressed. I was all out of that. And then I've got a teaspoon of salt here. And we're going to mix that together. Now typically you could cook this in the pan with all your liquid ingredients, your milk and your water. I'm just going to do it in the cup today like this. Okay? Just for the sake of time. We're going to pour this on in there. And then probably could have done that before. Put it all in with the liquids, but it's okay. It's all going to get kneaded up. And then after you do that, then you're going to add, the reason why I do this, honey works and sugar works, but you want to activate your yeast. So I'm going to put just a little bit of honey. I mean, for those of you that like to measure, maybe that was like a tablespoon or two of honey. Okay, that's going to activate the yeast. And then you're going to put a little hole right there. And then you're going to put your yeast right in the middle. Okay? Because you don't want your yeast to rise like right away. So then you're going to pour that down your little valley where the yeast is. Okay, and that was, well, actually, that it should have been 1/4 cup. I did the 1/3 cup. Okay, now I'm going to save this 1/4 cup to see if we need any extra. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in to my bread maker. Put this into my bread maker. Okay, and I used 1 pack of yeast, by the way. I'm going to put the top down. I like doing my bread on the quick setting. Okay, I'm going to move this over a little bit so you can see. Okay. Hopefully you can see that okay. You may not be able to, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and select what color. I like to do it on the dark setting. I'm going to do it on the quick and then pick the crust color. I selected the quick and it only takes 1 hour and 50 minutes. You can't see that. This is an Oster bread maker. I love Oster bread makers. They're amazing. But I also have a Philips one over here. And the thing I want to show you is that a friend told me, you know, why don't you go ahead and get 2 of them, so then that way I can have 2 loaves of bread that I'm making. If you have a big family and you've got the space to do it, I would really recommend it. So I'm going to open this. What happens is that the bread is going to start churning in here. There. Uh-oh, it unplugged. Give me just a minute. I'm going to scoot that over just a little bit. There we go. So it's going to start mixing if you can't see. Alright, it's going to start doing that. It's mixing up. And what's really amazing about the bread maker is that it does everything for you. My amazing neighbor Claire, or was it my friend Yvonne? I can't remember, but one of them told me that if you just put everything in the bread maker, it would stir up. And I wasn't sure, but I will state one thing. When I mix everything up in a bowl first and then put it in the bread maker, I don't know. The bread is really amazing that way, but it's good this way too. So you see it's still a little floury, so we're going to go ahead and add that 1/4 cup of water. So we've already added 1 cup of water, 1/3 cup of water, and 1/2 cup of coconut milk. Okay. And it seems like we can stand just a little bit more liquid in here. So let's just do, see with flour, you never know. You can have these recipes telling you how much liquid to put in, but depending on how old the flour is, I added 1 more 1/4 cup of coconut oil. Depending on how old the flour is, then that's going to let you know how much liquid you need. So anyway, it's going to start mixing up, as you can see, and I like to kind of take, see, there you go. I like to take this, my spoon, and kind of get down in there. And if you add too much flour, you can add a little bit of flour. If you add too much, water or liquid, you can add a little bit of flour to make things right. All right. Now, I don't like my dough dry. I like mine wet. When it's too dry, that means you're going to have hard bread and it's not going to be light or fluffy. So it looks like we're on the right road with this flour, and we're going to see how this bread goes, and we'll check back with you when the bread is completed.
Hi,
Welcome to Smiley's Kitchen. So this time we're going to be making white bread. We already did a video on wheat bread. Now we're going to be making white bread. And the great thing about it is we're going to be doing this in a bread maker. So what I've done so far is I put 2 cups of Silk unsweetened coconut milk. Any type of milk you use needs to be unsweetened, unflavored, or you can use water. A lot of times I just use water in the place of milk for most of my bread recipes. But I do from time to time like to use the coconut milk. It just, I don't know, it just makes it really good. So I put 2 cups of milk. I put about 2 or 3, maybe it was 3 or 4 tablespoons of my, let me show you the container. It is the Smart Balance Original. This is vegan. It's non-dairy. So I put that in there, okay. And then I also took and put a tablespoon just for flavor and also texture of coconut, unrefined coconut oil, and a tablespoon of grapeseed oil. Okay, I put that all in here, and a teaspoon and a half of salt, and then I believe that's all. Oh, and if you really want to make it sweet, you can use any type of sugar. It can be a half a cup of sugar. You can use turbinado sugar, or just a half a cup of honey, or refined sugar. I don't recommend refined sugar. I'm trying to get away from using refined sugar. I did use it for this bread recipe today, but during the coronavirus, it's not really good right now to use the refined sugars. So I have this. I'm going to put this on my oven and let all of this melt and all the seasonings just kind of marry together. Okay? And then while we do that, then just going to let that cook on medium. Now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. Typically I would add, and I want to tell you something first about this. I've got a Philips bread maker. I'd like to show it to you. One thing I like about this bread maker is that, let's see, make sure you can see it good. Okay, one thing I like about the bread maker is that it has all the settings and you can see them really good actually. Let me see, I'm trying to get this to where you guys can see this just right. Okay, it's got all these amazing settings on here. And so the great thing, there's different types of bread makers. You've got the Oster, and then you've got the Philips. The thing I like about the Philips is that, here, I'm going to take this off for a minute just so you can really see it. Okay. So with the Philips, you're able to, can you see that okay? Okay. I'm going to hold it up like that. See all those great settings? As the bread is making, you can see each step that it's going through, each stage. So if you want to bake some rolls, after it does the rise stage, and it beeps after each stage, after it does the rise stage, then you can take it out and you can shape these. You can use the same recipe and shape them into dinner rolls or croissant rolls, you know, crescent shaped rolls and things like that. So this is what I love about it, and there's 12 different settings. If you can see that right there, I'll take a picture of this and show it to you.